Welcome back to Enlightened Trading. I'm your host Conrad, and we've another look at crypto markets today. So as usual, this is my TradingView page. Definitely go check it out if you don't want to miss out on key information and on any of my posts. So, and especially if you want to get to know my latest post, then here it is, Bitcoin and what you need to know. So, going ahead with my Instagram page. Also, go check it out and follow me over here if you want to have some fun along the way. Leave a like and follow me. So, having done that, looking into Bitcoin. So, this is the daily time frame here with this incredible sharp drop here in crypto markets with a variety of different reasons why it happened, why it could have happened, and of course why it did happen. Yeah, I'm not going to go in depth on those, but yeah, I mean that's that, and we are now consolidating here below this big channel we had for multiple months, and we're now ending this week as we are currently on Sunday. So you can see this weekly candle is about to close in the next 4 to 5 hours, and we are now shortly below the 200 weekly moving average. Of course, we were far below it. Yet, in my opinion, I think it is important where we close. I mean, if it closes in this vicinity, or if it closes around 5,500, I think it's not too important. But it is important that it doesn't close too far below around 4,800, in my opinion. I think a close in this vicinity would still be not too bad, in my opinion. Of course, moving average are crossing, and as you can see right here, and are not looking too good in general. So from a long-term perspective, Bitcoin still has a lot of stuff to get over and to move beyond to actually confirm that this is the low. I do think that the low is in. It certainly looks like it. This is a huge capitulation after this bull run, wiping out a lot of stops. And many traders, of course, who thought Bitcoin would go to all-time highs pretty soon. So that's not too bad, in my opinion, that happened. So this is the 3-day time frame. This is actually one of the more important ones, because you can see we are now having a 9 buy here on the bottom. This is the third day of this 3-day 9, so tomorrow will be another count. What this count will be, well, it depends on where this candle closes. There is, though, pretty likely possibility that we see continuation and start a green count. If we then start trading below this green 9 or this 9 buy, then this would be pretty bullish in general. So of course, this is the it's not. So looking at the daily time frame, this is also one of the more important ones, because we're now at an 8. We are going to have a 9 the next day, and actually also in a few hours we're going to have a 9. So that would be a pretty important signal that maybe we can then see a rally to the upside once more. How far we will go and where we will see resistance, I don't think it's too easy to say, because there is, of course, heavy resistance from a structural standpoint. Also, the moving averages, of course, are still far above. So until we reach those, there is still a lot of room to move to get over. There are also huge gaps on GBTC, which should be closed in some time. I don't know when, but of course, if this rallies soon, then this would be pretty bullish for the price of Bitcoin in the long term, that we got wiped out. Also, what is pretty interesting is that on the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, you can see how low we are currently. We're now at 12. We were at yesterday at 8. This is one of the lowest points we have ever been. And sorry, I'm going to remove my so we'll do it like that. So I'm going to remove my blue filter, if you call it that way. Yeah, so you can see how we are now at one of the all-time lows actually here on the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. And usually we rally as soon, or I mean not as soon, but after an accumulation here on the bottom side, we tend to rally until people get more greedy, and then we drop again. So this happened, of course, with this high right here, where people got greedy, and you can see this accumulation phase going basically being the December of 2019. You can see this was this phase where we accumulated at the lows and then moved higher. And you can also see that, for example, here in June at the highs of 2019, this was actually right here. You can see how we topped in this vicinity, and in this time frame where people got really greedy. So people are now again very fearful, and this is usually a time you want to buy. Of course, this is a very sharp drop, and there are questions that have to be answered. For example, which asset that is really valuable and should actually hold its value loses over 50% in like 2 days, or over 40% in 1 day. This is not normal, of course, and if you are a long-term holder, then if you know the fundamentals, then this shouldn't be too troubling. But of course, it raises questions, and everyone has to answer these questions for themselves, and whether or not they think this has still some value. In my opinion, the fundamentals have not changed, so that is still a reason to be bullish. And for example, Edward Snowden also said that for the first time, or maybe not the first time, but for a long time, for a while, he was actually comfortable buying Bitcoin because this drop had too much to do with panic instead of having something to do with reason and logic. So that is actually a pretty nice point, that this drop was basically panic selling, of course coinciding with the scam of the Plus token, for example, or I mean stop losses on margin trading exchanges, for example. So there are, of course, a variety of reasons why it happened, or why it could have happened, but I'm not going to in depth, of course, because this is just looking for the needle in the haystack. Yeah, I mean, if you are a long-term holder, then this is, of course, the opportunity for you to buy in. If you are a short-term holder, I think this is also a good opportunity. People are very fearful. Of course, your instincts are telling you to stay away from it, but basically, I mean, if you are in tune with your emotions and thoughts, well, then I remember that I was very fearful here in this phase, and I was actually also doubtful once we moved higher all through this bull market. Of course, I made mistakes, but yeah, I mean, you just have to do something that seems quite uncomfortable if you want to profit from it long term, in my opinion. So that is the reason why I'm now in Bitcoin. I mean, I've always been in Bitcoin, but I'm now accumulating some margin positions on the long side here down in this phase, because I do think there is a strong likelihood that we move higher shortly. How far? Well, basically to this resistance, also of course to the above the weekly 200 moving average, and into this structural resistance around 6,200 to 400. There is of course pretty heavy resistance. Also, structural resistance is coinciding here around 5,800, so there's of course again pretty heavy resistance. Looking at it on the smaller time frame, then you can see that this, I mean, while it of course could be more bullish, this downward trend line seems to be of importance. If I even move closer to the hourly chart, then you can also see that if I maybe pull this down, that we already moved higher, but we didn't see too much follow through, so that's not too good, of course. Smaller term time frames are in these times not too important and not too significant in my opinion, because people aren't interested in general, and this is just an accumulation phase. So there can be some fake outs, of course, and structural dysregulations or just non-confirmations basically. So that's that, of course. But this looks like an equilibrium with lower highs and higher lows, which still of course have to be broken to either side. So we would now have retested this downward trend line here on the hourly chart, but not with too much follow through, and are now consolidating here down below. So we have to wait and see what happens. Of course, it would be pretty nice to see Bitcoin close at least around the but it would of course be nice to see Bitcoin close in the higher 5,000s here, maybe at 5,700 or even higher. It could be, and then maybe form a big ascending triangle here with horizontal resistance at like 5,800. So yeah, but you can also see, of course, that we have horizontal resistance here at 5,600-ish. So if you move even beyond that, then this could be important. So, but I'm not. Of course, you can picky, or you can't really pinpoint what is going to happen. But I do think that this is now the low for. Well, for Bitcoin, I do think there's a highly probability that it is in, while I of course called the bottom here, but that had a reason. I can show you why. If I just load the chart layout, no, that's not it. Fib chart, and that is actually pretty significant that we broke so significantly through the logarithmic growth curves. I didn't know what to make of it, of course, because Bitcoin never really did that in this huge volume. Oh wait, that's actually amazing. I didn't really recognize it until just now, but you can see how it actually touched this trend line and then moved higher. So this looks pretty nice in my opinion. So maybe the low is really in. It really looks like it. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. I mean, that is not good that we broke below it. Of course, we have to figure out what this means in the long run. But until then, I hope you stick around in this space. Still has a lot of potential for long-term growth. And of course, I'm one who wants to profit from that. So thank you very much for watching my video. Hope you are going to have a great start into your next week. Stay safe from any harms, of course, that are currently out there. And yeah, make sure you are protected. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys and girls, you people, back next time. Bye.